Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the Film Threat Livecast. My name is Chris Gore. Hope you're having a good day. Lots of movies to talk about today, including, oh my God, we have Backrooms, The Breadwinner, Power Ballad with Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas, also Pressure and Disclosure Day, early reactions, and I have seen it. And we'll get to it. Lots of news, and we're shorthanded today. We don't have our producer, Atomic Lori, so please bear with us. But we do have Alan and a special guest to intro Alan. There he is. What is with...
I know. StreamYard.
That was Grogu introducing you.
Yeah. I think the video was in the premium aspect format.
It was. I'll delete that. That is the last time you're ever going to see that. It's weird how Mandalorian and Grogu has fallen off to the point that, not sure if you're aware, but Obsession came very close to making the same amount of money during the week as Mandalorian and Grogu. I think it, surpassed it. If you look at day to day, like Monday, Tuesday, the weekdays, Tuesday and Wednesday are discounted at a lot of theaters because midweek, they discount to get you to come in, and Obsession is doing incredibly well. And I applaud it. I want to see more people go from YouTube to theaters making modest budget movies. Actually, I would say smartly budgeted movies that actually can make a profit,
or make a good movie.
This is how capitalism works. So what you do is you make a product for less than the amount of money that you think it will bring in. So if you think a movie is going to bring in X amount of money, just make your movie for less than that. Yeah. That's all you do. You scale the budget toward what you think it will do.
So you have a profitability mindset when it comes to this stuff.
Simple. It's so simple. I wish our government worked that way.
Our government is a reflection of Hollywood, or vice versa. I mean, it just seems like, during the pandemic, during the streaming boom, they just felt like they could spend, all they do is spend $1 billion and they'll make $1 billion.
Yeah. It's, I'm excited to talk about Backrooms today. We will get to that, but we are without our producer today. So it's going to be a shorter show and two guys doing their best. Doing their best. So let's get to comments, and then we got a lot of news stories, and we'll get to Backrooms.
We're gonna talk and look for chats at
now, Alan, we're all good. Let's launch in.
All right, here we go. Andrew Cram, member for 28 months. I respect Chris and Alan because of the authenticity and the blunt takes.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you, and thank you for being a member. And
he gifted 5 Film Threat memberships.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you.
I am going to one day do just a members only stream where I go through the news and we'll talk about the news. I'll write jokes and then post.
Well, good luck with that.
John Manlang, member for 46 months. My favorite power ballad is Alan singing a cappella. You don't have that video?
That's the cue.
You don't have the vaginoplasty song?
I think we deleted that a long time ago because I want to save people a lot of time. I want to save them time. Let's get to more comments as we move along here.
All right, Tim is not funny. 2026 is shaping up to be a banner year for original horror. How fitting that we are also getting Scary Movie back. Yeah.
I'm having trouble getting tickets to that. All the screenings are packed.
Yeah, you got to come out to Orange County.
Yeah. It probably wouldn't be packed.
I think I'm taking my daughter. She might actually want to see it. D Goodhart, with Backrooms opening, I'm kind of expecting a bigger drop off than expected for Disney Star Wars TV movie.
Yeah. That's a great, it's a TV movie. That's all it is.
And good morning. Look forward to Backrooms review. I'm planning on seeing it tomorrow night. Already have my tickets. The AMC that I go to added showings from what it was originally offering.
Yeah, it was Backrooms. I got tickets kind of last minute, and man, it was packed. It didn't have the best seat, but I was fine. But I could not believe how packed it was, and all the screenings, and they added more.
Mine was too. I think these Gen Zers were upset that they had to sit next to me.
Is that true?
It just seemed that way. They're like,
yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, usually you can get that one seat buffer, but no, you had to sit next to somebody in this screening.
Oh, well, there you go.
Then my daughter's boyfriend was filling me in on the video game.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. And a quick reminder to please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow us on all the socials. We're Film Threat on everything, and go to shop.filmthreat.com for your all your Film Threat t-shirts. We've got Attack of the Dock on Blu-ray. We've got pint glasses, coffee mugs, all kinds of pick your design and then pick what you would like. A guy had a problem getting like a DVD. This is weird. So we use Shopify, and Shopify will send a notification, your package has been delivered. So he ordered a sticker and a Blu-ray. Well, the Blu-rays are shipped separately by us, by Atomic Lorry, actually hand goes and sends it. So the two things came separately, the sticker and the DVD, and it said, your DVD has arrived, but it came separately, and there was confusion. Just want to say, hey, there are like 4 people that work at Film Threat, it's a full-time concern. And then a lot of freelancers writing reviews. If there's a problem with an order, you're probably talking to me. I answer I am customer service for Film Threat. If there's an issue, we want to fix it. So we appreciate your patience, but and we also 100% appreciate everyone who orders from the shop to get our merch.
I have zero influence on shirts and orders.
Alan is too busy. I don't
to deal with.
Alan's got
shipping and tracking numbers.
We have our own things that we're in charge of. I think I very much am. The way I like to manage is stay in your lane, do your thing. I do my thing. I make sure that people can be focused on what's important. Alan is all about the website. What's great is when I'll complain about the website and say, and then Alan will go, oh no, that was fixed. You just don't know. Or I'll ask a question. He goes, oh, we reviewed that last week. Or the filmmaker wanted us to wait until the movie was in theater. So that review is running on Friday. So, Oh, okay.
I've learned that whenever you send me an email that says, can you fix this typo? You always say, and they're really pissed off about it. Like, no, they're not. They're not.
They are.
Typo fix.
Not all the time, but they,
very rarely are they pissed. Usually if they're pissed, they say so.
Well, what can I say? I hear it all. I get all the complaints.
No, I think you just read pissed into everything you read. Every email, they're pissed. It's like,
yeah. Hey, let's get into it. So many news stories, and we'll get to the people after all these news stories, a lot of them. Disclosure Day has unveiled the popcorn bucket. Now, we have seen some exceptional popcorn buckets. Dune Part 2, probably the best popcorn bucket. That's the GOAT of popcorn buckets. Even the Mandalorian and Grogu popcorn buckets, there's one with Mando's helmet.
Yeah.
I saw people buying it. It's pretty cool. You can actually wear it. There's the Galactus popcorn bucket, which is in pieces on my floor here. But the Disclosure Day popcorn bucket is here, I don't even know what to say, Alan. Let's look at it here. Here it is. First look at the Disclosure Day. I really love aliens, and I want to eat out of a deer. What the hell is this? This is the popcorn bucket? What are you talking about? Yeah.
Guess what? If Disney grabs a hold of this, removes the bird, you have the live action Bambi popcorn bucket.
Yeah, this is Bambi's father. What the hell? Bambi's mom. Yeah, I really love things Spielberg, Close Encounters, E.T., all those the classic sci-fi. This is the popcorn bucket for Disclosure Day. This is a colossal disappointment. It could not be worse. But more importantly, Disclosure Day first reactions are here. Alan, I know you have the story. Let me bring this up from Variety. Let's
I'm going to read it from Variety.
And to be clear, I saw it. And I recorded an out of the theater reaction, but I didn't do it in the theater. I actually was like, I'm still thinking about this movie. I drove home and just shot a video here. And my reaction, should I just show you my reaction while you get the notes for this story?
I got it, but do you want to wait?
I'll build up.
Yeah, why don't you build to it?
Why don't you give us the reactions? Give other people's social reaction. I'm going to play the video that I shot.
Okay.
Right after I saw the movie. But go ahead, Alan.
So Gizmodo senior entertainment reporter Germain Lucier. I love Disclosure Day, a dense roller coaster ride blending chase, film, love story, and mystery, all wrapped in sci-fi wonder. It's Spielberg's best film in 20 years, filled with all the magic that makes his film so special, plus an all-time character performance by Emily Blunt. Your buddy, Collider editor-in-chief Steen Weintraub, says, in a shock to absolutely no one, Steven Spielberg has delivered another towering home run with Disclosure Day. I could go on and on about what I loved, but I was lucky enough to see the movie knowing almost nothing and strongly recommend you do the same. Stop watching the trailers. And one thing I'll say is Emily Blunt is incredible. I know big summer movies aren't usually the kind of performances that get award season attention, but once people see what she does in this, Bill Brillia says, breathtaking composition. David Knapp's X-Files meets the Bible script is one big high wire act. Emily Blunt, most accomplished performance. John Williams, best score in years. Riveting and moving. Tessa Smith over at Rotten Tomatoes says Disclosure Day is absolutely phenomenal. Truly something special. Smith wrote, I was hanging onto every word, captivated by the story as it played out. The score perfectly elevates every single scene. Part mystery, part Twilight Zone, something entirely new. And I believe, that's all I got.
What do you think, Alan?
It's going to be the greatest. It's going to be the biggest blockbuster. In fact, it's interesting. Universal got all these reporters together, and it's probably at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Let me just say this: I was there, and I saw Disclosure Day, and I think I may have had a very different reaction. I saw the film, and I had to really think about it and sit with it. So I drove home, and then I thought, okay, I'm collecting my thoughts. I just shot video here. So I'm going to show you the video I shot after seeing the movie. Let's watch it together. I may elaborate a little bit, but here's my reaction. So I wanted to do an out of the theater reaction to Disclosure Day, but wasn't really feeling it. Felt like I needed the ride home to collect my thoughts. And here it is, the out of the theater reaction at home. So this movie is on a short list of films where there's a major spoiler in the title of the movie. That list includes The Search for Spock. Because in that movie, if you don't find Spock, what's the point of the movie? That's in the title. And Disclosure Day is about exactly that. Disclosure Day. But what is it really about? What happens after Disclosure Day occurs? Because if a movie is called that and that doesn't happen, well, that's a real disappointment. Well, this will not disappoint. Disclosures happen. It lives up to the title. And I guess my disappointment with this film, and I know a lot of people are saying it's a return to form for Spielberg, and I'm glad some people feel that way. Unfortunately, I do not. I feel what's missing is, I think, the things I've come to really love about Spielberg films, which is just a feeling of elation, joy, whimsy, humor. The movie's almost devoid completely of humor. A great score. The score is kind of forgettable. And I just wanted more. The actors don't disappoint. They do their job, but it does live up to the title. I'll have more thoughts in a full review, but my initial reaction is I wanted something more. Well, that's it, Alan. That's what you. My opinion has not changed. I do have tickets to see it again, and I have had my mind changed. I did see the movie with a group of maybe 50 people at a screening room on the Universal lot, mainly industry people. But it really is, when you compare it, people are saying it's a companion piece to, Close Encounters, and E.T. Those movies are wildly entertaining with characters that go on a journey and there's payoffs. I didn't get that from Disclosure Day. It felt like especially the humor. There's so much humor in Close Encounters. It's subtle, but there's humor. It's not like jokes. But there's humor. There's humor in E.T. There's whimsy and moments of levity. And this was deadly serious. And it really, the other thing I didn't mention in that video is it could have used an editor. Like, there are scenes that go on for so long, you're thinking, where's that tight editing? Let's go. The movie is like 2 hours and 20 minutes and could have been 40 minutes shorter. So I'm going to save it. I don't want to, obviously no spoilers, but I already bought tickets to see it on the Thursday before with a paying audience. My mind could be changed, but it was really missing all those essential Spielbergisms that make you love his classic films. I don't want to say he's lost it, but he has lost something. The other missing thing is John Williams' score. John Williams' score for both E.T. and Close Encounters. I'm sorry, I'm comparing it to his other two Alien movies, and it was really missing quite a bit. So
he did score it though, right? They're right in that.
What's that?
He did score it.
He did. He's barely noticeable. The score is like forgettable to non-existent. I can't really say anymore. Let's save it, but there you are, Alan. There are my thoughts.
Okay. Wow, less than definitely not like what I just read.
Now let's give credit to Spielberg. He has long been a supporter of cinemas, going to see movies in a theater. And he had some comments on the theater going experience. And let's see what he has to say in this clip here. He was on, Steven Spielberg was on the Michelle Obama podcast.
Of course he was.
Okay, set that aside. Let's hear what Spielberg has to say about going to the theater.
The seats that I was interested in watching movies at were seats in the mezzanine or the orchestra or even the balcony. That's where I wanted to watch my movies, not sitting on the divan or in the beanbag or in bed.
Right.
But I wanted to go out, the adventures in movie going. And that was something that was very important. And my generation grew up that way, and my generation loves it. But my kids have it the opposite view. My kids want the convenience of being able to see a story being told in on any platform that's available, including an iPhone. They don't care. But when a certain movie does come out where the iPhone experience or the streaming experience is denied to them because the studios believe this film should be seen in movie theaters. And when the studios are brave enough to say, we're not going to go back to the 3-week or 17-day window like Donna Langley at Universal just did, all Universal films now have a 45-day window before they go on, the pay channels and eventually to their streaming platform. And this is very, very important that studios give an audience an opportunity to find these films, not by saying it's only going to be in a theater for 2 weeks, because then we get to qualify for awards later in the year, but it's going to be in a theater as long as people attend that movie. And that
I just want to say, this is a rare Michelle Obama podcast where she's not speaking derisively of her husband, the former president Obama. And that's also Michelle Obama's brother, you can see in this video. It's really sad because what he's saying is true. But I will say that a lot of things that people watch on streaming probably aren't worth seeing in a theater. I think we're reviewing one of those movies today, The Breadwinner. Might qualify for that. Do you want to watch the rest of this, Alan, or do you have some comments?
If I don't have any comments, but if you do, lower the volume.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah,
my apologies. My apologies. Is it too loud? Sorry, folks. Let's watch some more of this.
That's the battle we're fighting. And COVID really hurt us. Really hurt movie going because people who couldn't go out to the movies got very accustomed to watching movies at home. And the studios started taking movies away from their release dates and putting them directly on HBO or directly on, pay-per-view.
How does that affect the viewers, do you think? Do you think we're missing out on something? The experience of watching something as a community?
She's not a film fan, obviously. She's not a cinephile. I mean, whatever you think of Barack Obama, that guy, he's a fan of movies. I think he understood the power of movies to win people's hearts and minds,
Yeah. But he also mentioned the pandemic and how that ruined everything. I mean,
he's right.
I'm now that 2020 is hindsight is 2020. There's some pretty evil stuff going on with the pandemic and the lockdowns and what they were trying to do to us as a society, as people. And in movies, were one of the victims pushed to the side.
I can't believe it. An art form 100 years old gets completely derailed and habits changed.
Yeah.
I mean, I blame California and our governor, Gavin Newsom, for that. California was the most locked down state. This is where the entertainment industry is. The most locked down state was California. And that destroyed everything. Let's hear the rest of what he has to say.
When you watch a movie at home, there's nothing wrong with it. I watch a lot of movies at home, but it's not an event to stay home and watch a movie in your living room or in your family room, in your bedroom. It's an event to make.
By the way, I know a few people who work at Amblin. They say that Spielberg is such a cinephile. Even in the edit bay, he's watching movies, other movies. He wants to see like how the form is progressing. I'll say from listening to him, he'd be a great podcaster, and he's welcome anytime on Film Threat to talk to you.
Well, I did get to interview him.
What's that?
I did get to interview him. So
on the red carpet.
On the red carpet.
That's right. That's go to the Film Threat website, look up Spielberg.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to dig up the audio and maybe I'll post the audio.
Yeah, please do.
day of it, an afternoon of it, even a morning of it, and go out to the movies. That's an event, and it makes it more exciting. And when you see a movie in a theater, you're also being surrounded by people who are strangers. And there are people in that theater that do not believe what you believe. There are people in that theater who actually believe in the opposite of your core beliefs about democracy, about this country, about the world, about our needs, about what we need. But in a movie theater, everybody is tuned in to the story being told to them from the screen. And for one moment, we are in communion and we are in agreement and we are a community. We're a community of strangers watching something that makes us laugh and cry and sing out and want to share those feelings. And often you go into a lobby and you're still buzzing about the movie and you talk to strangers. You're not talking about the stuff that divides you.
No.
You're talking about what just united you.
Yes.
And that is the great thing that movies build community.
Yeah.
And we need community now more than ever.
Desperately
and
do.
movies can do that if studios will continue to allow movies to play for longer periods of time before they go on television.
Yeah.
Just seems hypocritical that Michelle Obama would agree with that.
It's just when you look at what happened in California and how locked down it was, then they opened it, then they locked it down again. Well, whereas other states, they did the 2 weeks to slow the spread. They locked down for 2 weeks and they opened back up. It was like nothing happened.
Yeah. I believe South Dakota didn't even do anything.
So, some states did not. So, but it really hurt the film industry here. It's kind of sad. Well, look, I support Steven. Obviously, the movie going experience is very important. But I almost think like just put movies in theaters and then a year later put it on streaming. You do in theaters, then you do, pay. You can get it on physical media first. Boom. Then you do VOD, then streaming in a year. I don't know why. You control this. The industry controls this. I mean, the best thing to create demand is to, limit the availability.
Or make a good movie.
Or make a good movie. That always
like
helps.
Titanic ran 13 months in the theaters.
Yeah. And then a movie like Obsession, for example, I know that movie keeps coming up. It's such a surprise hit, deservedly so. And it's making more money its second weekend and release than the first. Second week. That was the way all movies used to be. A movie would come out, they would platform release. Star Wars, which I saw the first weekend it opened in 10 theaters. One of the 10 theaters was the Americana. And that was in just outside of Detroit, Michigan, right around 9 Mile in Southfield. I love that theater. And I went there and I saw the Star Wars there, opened in 10 theaters. Then it opened in more theaters. So that was normal. You would kind of test the waters and see how popular a movie was. Another movie that really had legs, you would not put, is the movie Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman. Was another that only opened on a few screens, then a couple hundred, then more. That was how all movies came out. They were limited. I was lucky to live in one of the big markets, Detroit, where they opened films. Big movie going community in Detroit. Well, there's not a lot to do in the winter. And the weather is always a surprise. So going to the movies was like, I lived walking distance to the Berkeley Theater where I grew up in Royal Oak, would ride my bike or walk there when I was a kid. It was the Dollar Theater. I saw Jaws there. So I'm just saying, you train audiences, you train them and they respond. Now audiences are trained to show up to movies late because you show so many trailers. It really bugs me. You can come in during the trailers, fine. on your phone during trailers, okay. I mean, I'm still kind of white knuckle, like, you better turn that off. When the movie starts, you better be seated. You better be seated. So, all right. We got more news stories. We got more news stories.
We got a lot of super chat. Or yeah, a lot of comments too.
Well, should we do those comments?
Yeah, let's do that. And then
let's do these comments. We have more news stories. And then we got reviews. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Jean-Hu gifted 5 Film Theater memberships. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Longtime supporter, Jean-Hu. The Skeleton King for 2. I bet that popcorn bucket only costs $1.
Oh my God. I love jokes like that. So thank you for that.
It's okay to laugh for 10. Amazon just made one of Hollywood's biggest AI movies yet. Its new Gen AI Creator Fund gives filmmakers access to AI tools to create plots, and Amazon selects projects to become full series. Thoughts? Actually,
we have a news story about this.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it.
They're crowdsourcing creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And will anything
somehow they think non-professionals can do it better.
All I can say is I don't know that anything good will come of it, but they're crowdsourcing creativity. And I mean, look, they gave a lot of people on YouTube access to the YouTube platform to do what we're doing now, which is talk to you.
Yeah.
And that resulted in some very popular shows. Critical Drinker is bigger than Jimmy Kimmel. So, maybe this will work. Remains to be seen. Thank you. It's okay to laugh. Appreciate it.
DEFCON Prime for 2. We had Pro Wrestling and Freedom here in Florida during COVID. Yes, the 2 major wrestling companies were wrestling during the pandemic in Florida.
Well, the only thing I don't like about Florida is the weather. It's too humid for me.
So you prefer Texas over Florida.
Yeah.
Bruce Leroy Jenkins, Acolyte Season 2 Fund.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I have Vanestra right here, ready for Season 2. What mysteries will occur with her and Yoda?
Let's just say, he's serious when Vanestra is not in the box anymore. Matthew Hammond.
I got a bunch of Acolyte figures mint in box.
Yes. Or you'll just make the series in the box. Matthew Hammond for 10. Habits change when TV took a leap forward in quality storytelling in the late 90s to 2000s. And talent moved to cable and later streaming. Superhero movies brought people back to the theaters.
Yeah. And now the superhero genre is, I think, dying at this point. Again, I agree with my friend Gary Beekler. Shout out to him in Japan. That they're going to make Batman movies and Spider-Man movies, but superhero movies that from a connected universe, that might not be a thing. So let's start from the top here, and we will then get back to more news and reviews.
Tim is not funny. Attending Monmouth Film Festival today. Looking forward to it. They're screening a Power Ballad tonight.
Oh, you're going to have fun. Thanks, Tim is not funny. That's awesome.
All right. Balrog Uden, Emily, pass the blunt.
Somehow Alan highlighted that comment.
Yeah. At least it has John Williams going for it. Yes, John Williams did do the score of Disclosure Day.
Barely noticeable.
Mellow 53,000 for 5. Spider Noir is awesome in black and white, but weekly release would have served it well. Faux show.
Thank you, Mellow. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on Wednesday. I mean, that show will be hurt by dumping all the episodes at once. That was a terrible decision.
Yeah. Yowzers, what was Spielberg's last best movie? Schindler's List. I'm looking at a list here. Personally, I did like West Side Story.
I did not.
His last one was Lincoln. Does Lincoln sound like it was the last best one?
Honestly, I was bored by Lincoln.
Okay.
And I love history. And history with presidents.
Yeah, okay. I'm War of the Worlds or The Terminal or Catch Me If You Can.
Those were decent. After that, no.
That's 2005.
Fablemans, I like the last scene in the movie.
Yeah.
The last scene is great. I've seen that clip 100 times.
Yeah, let's see. Ready Player One, The Post, The BFG, Bridge of Spies, Lincoln, Warhorse.
Yeah, I didn't like any of those.
Yeah. Franklin Sturgill III. Don't trust Chris. He's an alien.
I might be.
Have Gun Will Travel. Alan, as a Christian, how do you feel about aliens? Do you buy it, or is it the gayest thing ever? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I need more facts, but from what people tell me, they're demons.
Well, I'll just say this, that the movie deals with religion and aliens. It's a big part of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A big part of the movie is how the religious community would react. It's a thread that runs through.
Yeah. Well, we see a nun in there.
Yeah.
Jason Nelson for 2. Thank you for your DD review. Other critics praising it.
It's flawed. It's flawed for sure. I'm being very vague because that's what you.
Do you have an idea of what they're seeing that you didn't see, or?
I don't know. It was weird. I was in the screening with 50 people, and at the end, 2 or 3 people enthusiastically applauded, and then the rest of the crowd was silent.
I mean, I wonder how those who dive deep into the alien conspiracies think about it. What would Gary say?
That's my thought. I want to hear what he has to say.
All right, Fresh Snow. Spielberg saw what Top Gun Maverick did in theaters and thought, I missed that. Yeah.
Just back to spectacle. Back to
events. He said it was event. Movies were events, and I would just say, movies need to be made as if they were events.
Yeah. More news stories. We'll get to reviews. Spider-Man: Brand New Day. I think everyone's looking forward to that. Is the first MCU film to center on classic elements of Spidey. Okay, so let's get into it. This story from Empire. I love Empire magazine. They're decent.
Yeah, until they went TDS.
A little too much there. But Alan, give it to me.
All right. Spider-Man Brand New Day will push Tom Holland's Peter Parker into a much more classic version of the character. A lonely street-level hero swinging through New York after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. With the world forgetting who Peter is, including MJ, he's now isolated and living a stripped-down existence far removed from the high-tech Avengers world. According to Kevin Feige, the film focuses heavily on the traditional Spider-Man formula fans know from the comics. Peter is living in a cramped apartment, listening to police scanners, and trying to responsibly help people as New York's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Director Destin Daniel Cretton says the story explores Peter throwing himself entirely into being Spider-Man after suffering major losses, including Aunt May and Tony Stark. The film examines grief and emotional isolation, and Peter using nonstop work as an unhealthy coping mechanism while dealing with strange new changes to his powers. Amy Pascal describes Brand New Day as more emotionally driven Spider-Man movie rather than focusing on multiverse chaos or world-ending stakes. The film aims to dive deeper into Peter Parker's inner life, still delivering the big action and spectacle audiences expect for a Spider-Man blockbuster.
Well, they've already ahead of the game, in my opinion, based on the costume. The costume is classic Spidey that I remember from the early comics and the cartoon. That cartoon, the classic Spider-Man cartoon with its cool jazz score, like that's really cemented Spider-Man as one of the all-time greats. And now he is without a doubt the number one superhero character is Spider-Man. More than Superman, more than Batman, more than, and you know this from licensing. Spider-Man licensed products bring in more money than any superhero. Second is Batman, but he's even down here, right? So, and what's great about that cartoon, they used rotoscoping. they hired a gymnast to do these poses, the swinging poses, the jumping and landing on ledges and crouching, the climbing up a wall. Those were all those elements were all shot of a gymnast, and then they animated over it. That's why it had this sort of real feel to it. Then they went to like limited animation where only the mouth moves when he talks, which is kind of cheesy. But those Spider-Man like swinging and jumping on buildings and like all of that was done with a gymnast. That's how they're so good. In fact, that kind of comes from the Marvel way. Yeah. Stan Lee would come in and he would act out the drama of whatever happened to the Fantastic Four. And he would act it out, very Shakespearean. Jack Kirby would look and go, okay, I got the story. He'd go and draw it, and then Stan would fill in the bubbles. I love stories of how they created this method to actually crank out so many comics, like with consistency. I mean, I love that. I love it. So.
Yeah, no, I like going back to the classic Spider-Man. Classic being, he's, at least in the comics, for a very long time, he was a high school student who, by day was Peter Parker, by night was Spider-Man. And the stakes were low. No, the stakes were big, but they were local. And I'm hoping that's the direction they go in. Because the Breadwinner is produced by Sony, we got a really good trailer for Spider-Man.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I don't think they've published that one yet, but go see the Breadwinner if you want to see the new Spider-Man trailer.
Let's get into some more news stories here. Just a few more as we get into it here. We talked about Amazon establishes AI creator fund. This is with a surprising way of going about it. This is from Variety. You have the story, Alan.
Yes.
I'll bring it up on screen. Tell us what's in this story. And what
Amazon MGM Studios has launched a new AI-focused filmmaking initiative called the Gen AI Creator Fund, partnering with Amazon Web Services to develop what it says is the entertainment industry's first AI production platform built specifically for movies and TV. Executives emphasize that the technology is designed to assist creators rather than replace them, with studio COO Albert Chang calling the approach human-centric. The fund provides filmmakers, digital creators, and startups with financing and access to AI production tools to create proof-of-concept shorts and pilots. Amazon has already greenlit 3 animated Prime Video series under the initiative. Punky Duck by Jorge Gutierrez, Love, Diana, Music Hunters from Albie Hecht, and Pocket Watch and Cupcake and Friends from BuzzFeed Studios. At the center of the initiative is Project Nara, the AI-powered production workspace available exclusively to creators in the program. The platform integrates with industry standard tools like Maya, Blender, Unreal Engine, Nuke, and Adobe software, while combining third-party and Amazon-built AI models. It also includes intellectual property tracking features meant to protect creators' work. Amazon says the goal is to make productions faster and cheaper while giving filmmakers more creative control earlier in the process. Chang noted that creators were challenged to complete pilots within 5 weeks to demonstrate the speed of AI-assisted workflow. He said the technology allows directors to preview scenes before filming, helping them adjust creative decisions on set. The 3 announced projects span wildly different animation styles. Punky Duck is a chaotic punk duck navigating absurd adventures in Los Angeles. Love, Diana, Music Hunters centers on K-pop space musicians saving aliens through music. And Cupcake and Friends focuses on comedy chaos of a sleepover. The initiative was unveiled during the 2026 AI on the Lot at Culver Studios, a kind of Hollywood and Silicon Valley crossover where render farms meet storyboards.
I told you when AI was going to be used for filmmaking, the first thing that would happen is animation.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive. It's, animation. I mean, you know more about this than I do.
Yeah.
Having done the D files, you know how expensive animation is, how there've been kind of chaos with certain groups of animators trying to unionize. They sent it to Canada. They sent it over in the 90s. They would send it to Korea to do animation. It's expensive. The process is long. So I knew that this would happen. Whether it results in anything good, we shall see. I don't think when it comes to writing, I just don't think, but animation, it makes sense. I just don't know if we'll get anything good.
Yeah, I think writing wise, you're right. Nothing will beat human. I don't think AI can even come close to producing a script that's going to be incredible. But AI can inspire a writer in terms of giving them a jumping off point. I think that's as far as really its usefulness.
Now, we talked about Disclosure Day. One of the things that Spielberg, how he makes his movies, is he will actually pre-make the film. And by that, I mean, he'll do like animatics or like have people. So he's got a version of the movie. It's very, very crude, but it's the script to image. So you can kind of see the film in a way, it's like doing temp voices and whatnot. And so they're kind of using those same techniques, but using then AI to render it in animation. We'll see if this ends up with anything decent, but I told you this was coming. The first we're going to see all AI animation will be for a kids show because it's coming in under the radar where people may not care. I mean, do parents really care when their kids they just throw it on? It's like, oh, I don't have to deal with my kid. They can watch whatever this children's entertainment slop is. So it's a slippery slope, Alan, and we'll see if anything good comes from it.
By the way, you know what I just found out? That my daughter's online textbooks are written in AI because she during writing a paper, she copied one of the paragraphs from her online school textbooks, and it came up as AI. They detected AI, 100% AI from it.
Awful.
Yep, that's what we're headed.
Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey has caused controversy, and a lot of people have spoken out about casting. Lupita Nyong'o is Helen of Troy. Some people are upset. And a letter to Hollywood, an open letter to Hollywood and Nolan's The Odyssey cast. This is from it's the Greek Times. Let me put up this story here. Okay. I'll subscribe to your newsletter later. Here it is. Greek City Times, a letter to Hollywood and Nolan's Odyssey cast from us, Greeks. Alan, just read the letter. No notes necessary. Okay. What does this letter say?
Okay, let me pull up the letter.
You could have been doing that the entire time I was talking.
Because I thought it was a video or something. Sorry. Cinema has always carried the power to reimagine ancient texts, to cross borders of language and time, and to reintroduce old stories to new generations. Homer's Odyssey belongs in many ways to the shared cultural imagination of humanity. We understand the ambition behind bringing it to screen on this global scale and recognize the artist's tradition of reinterpretation that has surrounded these epics for centuries. But we also ask you to consider something that is often overlooked in modern retelling of Greek stories. Greek people do not appear after the age of myths. Greek culture was not frozen in classical marble. Greek language was not extinguished in antiquity. We are still here. For more than 3,000 continuous years, Greek identity has persisted through transformation rather than disappearance. From the Mycenaean world that gave rise to the Homeric epic, through the classical city-states of Athens, Sparta, Corinth, and Thebes, into the Hellenistic period that spread Greek language and thought across the Mediterranean under Alexander's succession, through the Roman and Byzantine eras where Greek remained a dominant language of administration, philosophy, and theology, into the Ottoman centuries where identity was preserved through history, faith, and community, and finally modern Greek state that emerged through the revolution and continues today with Europe and wider worlds. At every stage, something essential remained unbroken: language, memory, cultural continuity. Greek is still spoken today, the oldest continuously surviving language in Europe, not reconstructed, not revived, but lived. That continuity matters when stories like the Odyssey are retold. Odyssey is not only a universal symbol of endurance, struggle, and homecoming. He is part of the cultural inheritance that has been carried through every one of those historical layers, retold by Byzantine scholars, preserved in manuscript, copied through the medieval world, studied during the Renaissance, and still taught, spoken, and reinterpreted in Greece today. This is why conversations about representation matter deeply to us. We are not asking for exclusion or limitation. We are not arguing against diversity nor against reinterpretation. Greek culture itself has been shaped by exchange, migration, and encounter across centuries. What we are asking is something simpler and more human: that when Greek stories are retold on the global stage, Greek people are not rendered invisible within them. In recent years, the film industry has rightly placed increasing emphasis on the representation, ensuring that cultures are acknowledged, voices are included, and lived experiences is not erased in the process of storytelling. Indigenous stories increasingly involve indigenous voices. Cultural consultation is becoming more standard practice. Identity is treated as part of artistic responsibility. We ask only that this awareness extend to Greek heritage as well. Not because Greek identity is fragile, because it is continuous. In discussions around the Odyssey, some have argued that mythology belongs to the world and should not be bound by cultural origin. Others see casting diversity as a reflection of a modern global audience rather than historical specificity. We understand those perspectives, but universality does not require disconnection from origin. A story can belong to humanity while still recognizing the people and language from which it first emerged. We say this not in anger, but in recognition, because too often Greek history is treated as something that ended rather than something that continued, as if Greece existed only in the classical past, rather than through the Byzantine continuity, through the Ottoman endurance, and through revolutionary rebirth and into the present day, in cities, villages, islands, and diaspora communities across the world. So you step into Homer's world, into seas, wanderings, gods, and returning kings. We ask that you carry this awareness with you, that Greece is not only a settling in that Greece is not only a setting in antiquity, it is a living country. Greek people are not historical figures. We are contemporaries. And when future opportunities arise to tell stories from any other period of Greek history, ancient, medieval, or modern, we hope you will remember that Greek heritage is not absent from those stories. It is present, living, and still speaking for itself. We wish you success with the film and respect to the craft that is bring this epic to life. We just reiteration, we did not vanish. We are still here.
Well, there you go. It won't do anything. This is too little too late.
Yeah.
You know, the movie's made, but I wonder if, you know, we've seen so many movies recently that put a little disclaimer at the beginning. This was wrong then and it's wrong. When I saw Gone with the Wind, they said these portrayals, it was wrong then, it's wrong now. Like, we've seen a lot. Will there be a little disclaimer that this is a modern interpretation? We respect the Greek people. There were these Greeks involved. Like, will they add something like that? Is this controversy boiling up. This isn't this isn't something that can be dismissed as a fringe group. These are Greek people speaking on behalf of their culture. Will anything happen?
Yeah. Are you saying that the Odyssey should have a land acknowledgement?
maybe an acknowledgement that this is a modern interpretation. I don't know. I just feel like we're playing these stupid games. Things always go one way. We know what way that is. And people are over it. And I don't think they want to support films, for good or bad, that play this game. That's being game that's being forced.
Yeah. I mean, the irony is clear. It's a Greek story, yet you have no Greeks. But of course, Helen of Troy could be black.
And that's what it is. Let's go to comments here because there's a lot of them about this. I have one more news story and then reviews. Want to let you guys know. So let's go here.
All right, 2 penny puppet for 5. John Campea just had his biennial segment claiming IMAX is for sale. Again, thoughts?
Well, it is for sale. I saw it on Matthew Baloney's podcast, The Town. It's for sale, and I have no idea who's going to buy it.
Yeah,
it's but we'll see. It is, but it's made it in the mainstream news. So,
right
there you go.
I mean, is it a cash grab in the sense of,
well,
look, we built this company, we brought it to this certain value, but if we sell it, we could double that or triple that.
If Disney were smart, they would buy IMAX and then put all their movies on IMAX screens.
Yeah,
and lock people out.
Or better yet, just ruin IMAX like they did with every other purchase they made.
True.
Lord Khan for 2. Afternoon CG Gore. Miss me?
No. More comments. Oh, I want to read this from Davina Duckworth. From Euro to Hero, because I know the correct pronunciation of that.
From Gyro to Hero. Sam it's move. Greek people exist? What? Joe Sapienza. Lupita fought for Wakanda authenticity, yet Greece a place of irrelevant apparently. I'm sorry, I just read a long article.
You read Lupita fought for Wakanda authenticity, yet Greece, a real place, is irrelevant apparently. Says Joseph Pienza.
Villas Pressing Square. I have zero problem with an all-Greek cast, but most of the world will have zero interest in it. Nolan loaded his film up with big Brit stars. Also, Hollywood tends to cast Americans and Brits. To me it is, just fess up to it. Why did you cast this way? Just come out and say it. This is why we didn't use an all-Greek audience. I'd much rather have transparency than just trying to make excuses. Well, Helen of Troy could have been black. Joe Sapienza.
Joseph Pienza. If it
says Joe Sapienza. Sad. How sad is it? Greece had to literally write a letter to Hollywood to remind it OG still existing.
Yeah, true.
Royston Bailey for 2. Casting Germanic Normans isn't authentic either.
Yeah.
Davina Duckworth, Greek erasure.
Yep.
Now, Lewodakim is just anti-white everything all the time. There is no hypocrisy because this is the modern leftist position.
Seems to be. One more quick news story before we get into all of our reviews, including Backrooms. So here we go. Sorry, I'm setting this up, Alan. Let's go.
Okay.
Mark Duplass, who is in the movie Backrooms, is responding to rumors that the director of Backrooms didn't really direct the movie, Kane Parsons. He is very young. He's 20 years old, the youngest person to ever have a movie released through A24. This is looking to be a huge hit for A24. But here he is responding to rumors about that he plays a character named Phil in the movie. So here he is. Let me put this full screen so you can see it. Let's hear what Mark has to say. I'm going to turn up the volume here. We'll see.
So a lot of takes going around right now about whether Kane Parsons at the tender age of 19 actually directed the Backrooms, or whether it was more ghost directed by one of his more experienced producers. I was there. I suspect one of the reasons I was hired is because I mentor a lot of young filmmakers, and they may have thought it'd be good to have someone there who's sensitive to that. And I was prepared to help out. And what happened was he didn't need any of us. He was intensely prepared. He spent the last 5 years of his life building out one of the most detailed mythologies I've ever been a part of. Worked incredibly closely with his crew, particularly his DP, shot design, and was very sensitive and calm and smart in dealing with actors. So for those of you who have all these thoughts, were you there? So a lot of takes going around right now.
There you go. Direct from Mark Duplass, who is in the movie. He plays a character named Phil. And we're going to get to our Backrooms review in a bit. I guess they just look at his age. We're not used to people maybe at that age being so competent.
Yeah. Or having a passion for something.
Well, this annoyed me when I was young. I started Film Threat when I was 19. I moved to Los Angeles in my early 20s. I sold Film Threat to Larry Flint, who allowed a kid, I was 24, 25, to run this movie magazine. I dropped out of college. I didn't know, I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to do that. I didn't know there was a correct path. I just had a drive to do this project. So, and it used to bug me that I remember watching the movie, the TV show, The Real World on MTV. And the show infuriated me because it elevated the most moronic people, so that you thought that you got the impression that people of a certain age in their late teens, early 20s were complete idiots. And I watched that show with complete disdain, thinking this doesn't represent my friends. My friends were musicians, filmmakers, artists. Glenn Barr, growing up in Detroit, he was such an accomplished artist. He is today, still, and deservedly. It bothers me. There are people. I'm going to guess that this young director who made the movie when he was 19, is a prodigy who is just driven. And you don't, even with, you see people who complete projects, some people need a lot of money. Some people don't. Some people, it's sheer force of will to bring a project like a movie, or think a comic book or any other creative project. You will that into existence. So I'm glad to see Mark Duplass. And if you know anything about Mark Duplass, he makes watch The Puffy Chair. I think this year is the 20-year anniversary of the indie movie he made when he was a kid called The Puffy Chair, which is about a guy who drives across the country with his girlfriend to pick up a chair he bought on eBay to give to his dad for a present. And it's called The Puffy Chair. It's the movie's kind of improv. It's really low budget indie movie, shot digital, played South by Southwest. And if you know anything about the Duplass brothers, Mark and Jay, wildly creative. And a lot of their films are, some are hits or misses, but they go for it. And it was great to see Mark appear in this film. Also, by the way, see Mark in a series of movies called Creep, which are horrifying. You got to see Creep. Mark Duplass he's also in The Morning Show. I'm a big fan, by the way. So glad to hear him support the director of the film. Any thoughts, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious about how the rumor started in the first place, and personally, I feel like somehow the woke left figured out how did they let a white guy fall through the cracks and make a movie.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah. I didn't think of that aspect. I think they just looked at his age. You know, he made the film.
But to say he wasn't on set. That he was, that they pulled a Clint Eastwood or something, and that he wasn't on set. If you have a passion for something, I mean, clearly after seeing it, and I don't want to get too much in the review until we actually do it, but this kid feels like he understood the video game and built a world around it. I mean, young people can actually get that passionate about stuff like that.
This is what bothers me. I think in some ways, when I observe young people now, I think they're way more advanced than I was at that age in some ways. In other ways, they're kind of, they may be for good or bad. Like, younger people don't drink and smoke as much as I remember. I was never a smoker, never smoked in my life, but, they're not into recreational drugs or drinking and smoking as much as I remember my young peers being into when I was a kid. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they're less advanced in certain ways, more advanced in others. And I'm glad to see Mark support his director. Mm. If there's any comments on this, let's get to him. And then we're doing reviews, folks. I know it's a weird show today. No Atomic Glory to help us out. But let's get to our reviews after these next round of comments.
All right. Not Kevin Feige for 5. Based on the Elliot Page memes, I think this movie might launch AI recasts. People will just remove the forced DEI and upload their versions.
Yeah, they could do a recut of the Odyssey. That's
box office brawler for $4.99. Hey guys, people are so divided over Backrooms. You want to actually save this one? You want to save it?
Yeah,
for
let's save it. Oh shit! Yeah,
okay.
Brawler. We will get to that after we review Backrooms.
During our review, Zachary Schmidt for 5. Alan and Chris, you need to watch the AI short of Achilles crashing the set of Nolan's Odyssey by Dank Prompts. It sums up the movie hilariously.
Thank you. We will. I like.
We'll have to watch that first.
We'll
Royce and Bailey for 2. Demonstrated talent breeds envy. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's just internet people jealous. They look at the age. They look at how successful the movie is going to be.
And can you imagine if it was a 19-year-old girl? I'm sorry, woman. They wouldn't be saying that. They wouldn't be questioning that.
Yeah.
Or if the person was black.
That's why I think Timothée Chalamet got so much shit for his comments about opera. He made a very good point. Yeah. Opera is not how many people are writing operas now other than Pete Townsend?
Or better yet, when was the last time you went to an opera?
Yeah. All you opera fans out there, he was making a point that art forms die. Who is writing symphonies now other than movie music, movie soundtracks? Who wrote the latest symphony? Anyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the word common sense basically says saying out loud what everyone's thinking. West Reviews, wasn't John Carper around the same age when he made Dark Star and Assault on Precinct 13?
Yeah, he was. He made Dark Star in college. That's a great movie. By the way, Dark Star is actually on YouTube for free. The full movie, like legally. So check that out, West Reviews.
Joseph Binzia. Kane Parsons' YouTube videos are robust. He began making them for ages my son showed me.
Oh, that's great. And yes.
Yeah, Garth Knight Returns. That Larry Flint?
Yes. Film Threat was owned by Larry Flint for about 5 years. He funded it. I was the editor, and he let me do pretty much whatever I want. It was great.
Yeah, you made everyone wear clothes in Film Threat at that time.
They were required to wear clothes. Brawler, we'll get to your comment. We're going to add that after Backrooms. But Alan, let's start with Breadwinner. We'll do Breadwinner, Backrooms, Power Ballad, then Pressure. That's the order.
Okay.
And did you see Corporate Retreat?
No. Are you kidding?
I don't think anybody did.
Are you kidding?
Alan, you saw the movie The Breadwinner. Now,
yes.
I'm a fan of Nate Bargatze. I think his humor is harmless. I've seen his specials on Netflix. He recently hosted an award show. I forget what it was. Was it the Tonys? Something.
It wasn't.
It was the Emmys. So he hosted an award show where I thought he did a decent job. The Breadwinner, I saw the trailer and I thought, you know who'd love this movie? My friend Alan. Well, Alan, tell me, did you love tell me about the Breadwinner?
Let's talk about it first, and then I'll tell you.
All right, I gotta hear.
Okay, so Nate Bargatze plays Nate Wilcox. He's the top-selling Toyota dealer in his little town there, and every year he wins the big prize, which is Tennessee Titan tickets. And he has a wife played by Mandy Moore, and three young girls, much like his life, of which he talks about in his stand-up routine. Well, lo and behold, Katie, the wife, she developed this little thing called the Star Minder, which is something it's a star, and on each point of the star is a task that the kids have to accomplish. And then you give the star to the kid, and the kid accomplishes each one and has a sense of accomplishment afterwards. Well, people tell Katie that it's such a great idea that she should actually make it, mass produce it. And so she begins the company, and lo and behold, it gets the eyes of Shark Tank. And so she presents on Shark Tank. And this is where the trailer comes in, where you've seen all that. Basically, Lori Greiner makes a deal, but under one condition, that Lori needs Katie to go to Korea to oversee the manufacturing of the product, meaning that Nate is going to have to leave his job, of which he is the top salesman, and watch his three girls. And of course, being the supportive husband that he is, he agrees that lifetime opportunity, he's going to do it. And so Katie flies off to South Korea, and Nate realizes how ill-prepared and unequipped he is to raise three daughters, two of which are teenagers. And of course, being the salesman that he is, he cannot let anyone know that he's in over his head until all hilarity ensues. I think some of the highlights are the fact that Will Forte is in this movie. He plays a roofer, unqualified roofer. And Kumail Nanjiani plays his kind of rival at the Toyota dealership. So the bottom line is barely laughed in this movie. The funniest bits were probably the Shark Tank segment because they really went for it. It is a parody of Shark Tank. For some reason, a lot of energy went into that scene, and that's the best scene in this entire movie. I think the issue that I have with the movie is it's safe. It is just way too safe. Slapstick happens, misunderstandings. He's in over his head. Things just go bad, and then it gets to the point where it affects Katie's ability to launch her product, and so lessons are learned. Look, I will give it a bare recommendation, and like The Mandalorian and Grogu, this movie is for families with young children. They're gonna like this movie. They will giggle at moments. It's super safe, but look, I want my comedies punched down, and this comedy does not punch down. It's just, it's way too safe. way too
Well,
safe.
I remember this movie 30 years ago when it was called Mr. Mom.
Yeah. But that
And
had a little
I
edge
thought
to
that
it.
movie
That's
was
the thing.
lame then, even though I like Michael Keaton. I thought that movie was lame then, and I don't care.
Yeah, but
So,
that movie had a little more edge to it than this one. This one is
Could
just
I-
very milquetoast.
could I fold my laundry while I have the movie on in the background?
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's exactly
you
what I'll
want
do. I'll fold my laundry.
Yeah, someone mentioned Daddy Daycare. Daddy Daycare is amazing. I mean, that is a real comedy.
Let's go to comments. Here we go.
Do we have any? Dr. Brian Robinson for 199. What horror genre needs to be explored the most? What horror
Original.
genre
What horror genre needs to be? I like psychological horror. That's my personal favorite. But I think what the horror genre needs, I think every genre needs original ideas. And we've seen so many good ones. That's why horror is thriving. That's why a horror film obsession like nearly beat The Mandalorian and Grogu this week. It's an original horror, and we'll get to Backrooms, but original horror is original in any genre is what people want. But I like psychological. I'm not a fan of gore, despite my last name.
Pilgrim Media for 2. Perpetuating making men look dumb isn't funny.
Yeah, we see it so often. It's
Mhm.
the norm. Thanks, Pilgrim.
Well, yeah, I mean, this movie should have elevated that at least, and it didn't. Davina Duckworth, an incompetent dad movie. Well, he's a good salesman.
You never get those. You never get those.
Look, he's the top salesman at the Toyota dealership. He provides a fantastic, immaculate home for his wife and his family. What's wrong with that? He just can't raise daughters. That's all. Shane the Liver, or Liver, sitcom the movie.
Yep.
Sitcom the movie. Bill S. Preston, Esquire. Alan, is this really safe for kids? The messaging seems pretty bad for kids. Well, look, bad things have to happen to the character for him to realize he's doing the wrong thing and then turn around. So they're showing you all the bad stuff and not the redemption story at the end. Sorry to have spoiled that for you.
There you go. Hey, let's talk Backrooms. Why don't you get that up there? And I'll wait for you, Alan, since we don't have someone helping us out today.
And since I was reviewing the last movie and can't do it.
No, all you got to do is put up a graphic.
There we go.
There you go. Alan, let's talk about Backrooms. And I want to let you know right off the bat, I'm reviewing this as someone who doesn't know the lore, has never played the game. I'm a fan of horror films. And what drew me to this movie was that wild trailer. The subtle, the marketing campaign for this movie is chef's kiss, top notch, filled with where I want to know what the heck are these fantastical MC Escher like images of storage rooms in the basement of a retail outlet. What is this all about? The campaign for the marketing we need to talk about before we get to the movie was so good because it told you nothing. Didn't tell you what the character story was, didn't really give you an idea of what this was about other than these stark images of a seemingly endless storage room to nowhere that is explored by a cast of characters frightened by what they see in this catacomb. Well, I'll just say this is like you ever go to IKEA and you can't find the exit?
Yeah.
That's what someone decided to make a movie about. Because I love IKEA. It's these fake setups of fake bedrooms and fake kitchens and fake living rooms, and you can't get out. You follow a path and you feel like you're getting somewhere. Then you end up at IKEA in an area where it's a warehouse And even that, like, where do I go? Where are the cashiers? Let me get out of here before I get some meatballs. Someone decided that that would make a good movie. Now, I know that this is based on creepy pasta and images and a game. And I'll just say right off the bat, you do not need any knowledge of the game or the memes or lore that accompany Backrooms to enjoy this movie. I was riveted. The director, Kane Parsons, has done videos for years about this concept. It stars Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays a guy who runs this retail store that sells discount furniture, and he dresses as a pirate in these cheap local television ads. And the camera crew that makes these ads, they have a video camera that they'll go around, and they're filming Chiwetel Ejiofor. I'll have to get his name in a second.
It's Clark.
It's Clark. And there's this young couple that record the videos and follow him. And it starts, first of all, his Clark is struggling. He goes to see a therapist over his alcoholism. He's still, dealing with being an alcoholic. Also, his marriage ending and all the troubles there. And all of that kind of ties into each of the characters in this movie is dealing with a trauma that is revealed, somehow manifested in these catacombs. Clark discovers these endless back rooms in this retail furniture store and begins to explore them, and then enlists the aid after he nearly gets completely lost, going crazy. He enlists the aid of a young couple who've made these commercials. Come with me. Like, you're not going to believe this, to document what they're seeing. And then the way in which the build of tension that this movie so expertly reveals through the music, which is not just, I would describe it as music, but ambient tones. It's not just music. It's this ambient tone and dread. I really don't want to get into any spoilers in the second half. I'll say that I felt the movie was maybe 15 minutes longer than it should have been, but I was riveted. I saw it with a packed audience. You could hear a pin drop in the theater. What I do like about the movie, once you get into Mark Duplass's character, he plays a guy named Phil. And Phil may have some reason for being involved, which in a very smart way, this movie avoids providing answers. You just need to accept what you're seeing in front of you. You can draw theories. And after I saw the film, I talked to, my daughter was there. So my daughter, a lot of other people, they knew the lore. They enjoyed the movie even more than I did, but I felt like I didn't need it. Like the movie gave it to me. What I needed to know or not know actually helped with the payoff. I mean, this is like, along with Obsession, there is now a wave of original horror that I think is really making waves. And oddly, I got this after the film. They gave us these little surveys, and like, you just use this QR code. Here, I'll put myself full screen. They give you a QR code. You go and answer questions, and there are a lot of questions that I think are revealing. A lot of the questions are spoilers, so answer the survey after you see the movie. But in answering the survey, it revealed kind of what they're going to make this a franchise. They may do prequels, sequels, midquels. they are looking for this to be big. And based on how hard it was to get tickets, I think this is going to be huge. I'm enthusiastic because part of what Film Threat does, part of our mission is we like to, in this case, we're not involved, but we end up having the joy of discovering young, new filmmakers, their first movies, which are raw, often flawed, but like a bird with a broken wing, we want to heal them and make them soar and fly.
Fly stronger, yes.
Yeah, fly stronger and bring attention to them. And I love seeing it so seeing this young talent create this intense beyond psychological horror, and the trauma of the two main characters. I only spoke about one, Clark. They do have payoffs. I don't want to say anything more. It's really about the experience, and knowing nothing, I loved it. And like I said, part of what we do at Film Threat is champion young up-and-coming filmmakers in their early works. As a first feature, knocked it out of the park for me. Not to say it's not flawed. Like I said, could have been probably 15 minutes shorter. But wow, I really was blown away. And in my top horror films for the year. But Alan, what did you think?
What did I think? So I did see Obsession, and I felt the same way about this movie that I did with Obsession. I really love the first two acts. The mystery it builds, I mean, it really built it. It's the mystery itself is anxiety inducing, and I felt very anxious. And then you get to this third act. And so I don't know anything about the web series, don't know anything about the game. To me, that third act was like, what the hell? What the hell is going on? I mean, it to me, it just felt like, I don't know. It just kind of felt like it came out of nowhere. Like there's a mystery that was introduced and is not being explained until the second movie or the next movie. Because things happen that I don't understand why they happened. I know they talk about, this idea of these endless loops. That this is an idea that's brought up right at the beginning of the movie, but you're walking through these endless loops of the hallway, and I know it has something to do with life and how we can get ourselves in endless loops, just like Exit 8.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so it's just like I said, I really did admire the first two acts. I mean, to me, that's the reason to go see it. And I feel like if you know the web series and know the games, the third act is going to be. You're going to understand the third act better than I did walking away. I just walked away going, this is weird. This is just a weird ending. And to Tom's comment, I liked Exit 8 a whole lot better than this.
Well, they're certainly pulling from the same pool of like game inspired, trapped in an environment, being trapped in life actually is one of the running threads, being trapped in a loop of life, making the same bad decisions. So, look, in spite of, you can point out flaws, the experience of watching this movie I just love that it captured this tension that was so like, what is this? And you know what? I don't want things answered. I don't want it. I mean, things.
But I want to understand why certain things happen in the third act.
I don't want to.
I do.
I do
because it just
Hollywood wants things explained. Everything. I'm gonna give you the answers to everything on a silver platter.
I'm not asking for answers. I'm asking for a reason why do these things happen in the third act? Because it just comes out. It feels like it comes out of nowhere. And so what happens in that third act for me, it takes a sharp left turn, and I don't know why we made that sharp left turn. I just have to, I don't accept the fact that I have to just accept the fact that we took a left turn for the sake of taking a left turn.
It's interesting in that survey that I told you about that we were handed. One of the questions was, do you want to see a sequel that continue the same characters, or a sequel, another story that has different characters? they are using this survey
to craft the next movie.
To find what people want. Do they want to see the character of Phil or the character of Clark return, or just a different story altogether? So we're going to see how this plays out. Obsession is going to be 100 million. Original horror is here. You might want to apply that to other genres. Horror is doing well because original horror is being backed and produced and funded. Maybe, how about some original science fiction? How about some original spectacle, big budget Hollywood movie or original romantic comedy? I think the thing is, people want to see something when they go to the movies that they've never seen. And that's what they want, whether it's horror or any genre. I think this does an amazing job. So I recommend it. Alan, what are your final thoughts?
I do recommend it. I think the first two acts, the world building in this, these hallways, I'm just riveted in terms of, walking down, where you walk, where it leads, who's chasing you. I was so connected with this movie, the first two acts. The same thing with Obsession. I admired so much of those first two acts of Obsession. Just the filmmaker's love of horror and understanding how film can be used to create horror, especially in your mind.
And it's one of those, I'll mention the movie, what is it, Skinamarink? I mean, Skinamarink, that's an acquired taste. Another weird, like, sort of trapped in an environment. And this film does kind of owe a little bit to that movie's success. It's reminiscent. Let's go to your comments.
Let's see. Box Office Brawler 499. Hey, Box Office Brawler. Hey guys, people are so divided over Backrooms. I never imagined I'd get so much hate. It's unbelievably creative, but feels like it's missing something. Yes, like a reason for the turn. That's all I'm asking. Reason for the turn.
Brawler, you're not allowed to have an original opinion. I don't know. I would not give you hate. I would debate you and just say, well, I feel this way. You feel that way. Art is subjective. We can have different opinions. But yeah, I didn't know people were divided. People are divided. That's weird. We'll find out on Monday.
I just told you.
Come on, Versus. We'll talk about it.
We're divided on this. Nashville Guitarist for 5. My 12-year-old son loves the games and wants to see Backrooms, but is it too much on the horror side? I would love to see it as a father. Give advice, please.
Ooh, a 12-year-old. That's borderline.
No, but if he plays the game and likes the game, this is not a gory, scary movie. It's a thriller.
Well, there are gory aspects. If he's played the game, I'd say you're okay.
Yeah.
It's much like the game from what I've heard. But yeah, 12-year-old, yeah, north of double-digit age. Yeah. Get a good seat.
Yeah. But I like the opening because it gave you that video game feeling that entire time.
Yeah.
You're playing this movie. Ty Robs for 499. Backrooms movie is not based on the game. The game and Kane Parsons' YouTube series are based on a creepypasta image. They're separate things. Yes, it's based on, my understanding is based on the web series.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. And that there was a video game also inspired by the web series.
So everything's like inspired by. Yeah. So yeah, the creepypasta image. Yes, I have seen that.
Skeleton King for 5. I love the movie. The atmosphere was top tier, but the plot needed work. But overall, I enjoyed it. Yes, told you.
All right.
People are agreeing with me.
Thank
you. To be in Duckworth, Chris is trapped living on Swedish meatballs. Pork.
I love Swedish meatballs.
Garth Knight returns. I had the recurring nightmare of being trapped in a room that keeps going on and on since I was a child. So I'm hoping that the movie captures that feeling.
I had such a vivid nightmare when I was a kid that I was trapped in my basement. And I kept going up the stairs, but every time I got to the top of the stairs, I was still in the basement. I remember that from being like 9-10 years old. So yeah, it's a primal kind of fear. That's why I think this movie and the web series and everything is so how it's like inspired people, because it's a primal fear, being trapped.
Aron Charman. I watched Backrooms today and really enjoyed it, particularly the middle section where he was exploring with his colleagues. Yeah. But it became quite bizarre toward the end and lost me a little.
It happens. It happens.
Just saying. I think people are agreeing with me. Wisemac 33. That's the best part of horror, Alan. You're not supposed to understand what's happening. Blah.
I agree. Smacks.
No, but it shouldn't be, like I said, a complete drastic left turn. You've got to guide us into that turn. And then leave it as a mystery. Lost was a great example of that. Josephasianza, Backroom's third act is setting me up for future answers.
Yes, 100%. So there you go. Hey, more movies to review. Alan, should we do Pressure first or Power Ballad?
Let's see. Yeah, let's do Pressure first. We should
okay.
Build up to Power Ballad.
Yes. I want to, let's talk about it. Ready?
Not yet.
Give Alan some time.
I know. Okay, there we go.
Cool. Alan, you saw the movie Pressure. Tell me about it.
Pressure. So there's an interesting trend that I've been seeing for a very long time when it comes to World War II movies. And it's the question of what won the war. And there are dozens upon dozens of movies that show the thing that won the war. For example, the Imitation Game. Well, it was the computer solving the Nazi puzzle was what won the war. A movie came out featuring Marcel Marceau, the famed mime, and that how he was basically a Jewish resistance leader and how that helped win the war. Then you have Schindler's List, and say how Oskar Schindler was pivotal of not only helping to save Jews from the Holocaust, but also to help end the war. And Pressure is yet another one of those movies that shows us the one single event that helped win the war. And believe it or not, this is about D-Day. And believe it or not, this is about the weather. It's set 72 hours before D-Day. The Allies are in position to storm the beaches of Normandy, and what has happened here is there's this specific date or time period, a very small time period, that they could do D-Day because there was this elaborate misinformation campaign that the Allies were doing, that the Allied forces were much larger than they were, or that the Allied forces were in different spots around the world than they were. But the thing was, the longer they wait, the more likely the Germans are going to figure out that they're being fooled, and if they don't do D-Day the day they set to do D-Day, all is going to be lost. That the war is going to be over. And so, because of a training snafu that Eisenhower had done to practice for D-Day, where live ammo was being used instead of fake ammo, and a lot of young men died on this training exercise because basically the weather ruined the communication pattern. Eisenhower says, look, we're going to do this, but we need to understand if the weather is going to be on our side or not. One of Eisenhower's meteorologists, Irving Crick, basically says, look, for the last few decades on these dates, the weather has always been great. But then Churchill sends in his best meteorologist, Captain James Stagg, who realizes that the American meteorologist doesn't understand Northern Europe weather, and that even Stagg doesn't know what the weather is going to be. and there are 2 storms coming in that could really ruin this. And the whole movie is about whether they can do D-Day on the day they set, and whether the weather is going to be in their favor, or if the weather is going to be so bad that they can't do it and therefore lose the war. And so basically, the go no go, literally in this movie, the go no go for D-Day rests upon Captain James Stegg, who basically says no, the weather is just gonna ruin everything. And so that's this movie. How did D-Day happen after that? In terms of the movie itself, I found it riveting. I do like World War II movies, the war to end all wars. It's just weird because right at the beginning you realize, oh, this movie's about weather, and all the talk of this movie is about weather. And I think what happens here is it's based on a play by David Haig. It's really well done. He brings the drama in, and you realize the pressure that this one man who is not, he's just a very simple meteorologist. He's not a true captain, a true military captain. He just knows how the weather works and how to predict the weather. And the title pressure says it all, because the war, essentially, the ability to launch D-Day rests upon this one man's shoulder. And he could just go along and say, yeah, go do it. But deep down, he's a scientist, knows, no, the weather is going to work against you. You cannot do it. And that's what this movie is.
I mean, I saw the trailer, and obviously there's a double meaning to the title pressure. I just was not intrigued. I mean, I trust your judgment. It's probably very good, but how much minutia do we need to retell stories about past wars or past? I mean, there was that one movie about all the women who did the math for the space program. Yeah. It's like, how much we know that there are a lot of people who contribute to huge accomplishments, but I just think I feel like when they're doing a World War II movie about the guy who predicted the weather for D-Day, I'm sure it's very good. I just feel like, have we run out of stories when we're going into so I'm not really attracted to see it based on the premise, but I will catch it at some point.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like World War II movies, and it started with Patton, and brings me here with Eisenhower. Look, there was a comment that Eisenhower made to Kennedy when Kennedy won the presidential election. Eisenhower was the president at that time, and Kennedy asked Eisenhower, how did you pull off D-Day, or why did D-Day work? And Eisenhower responded, because my meteorologists are better than the Germans, which just shows how important that was. And the other thing, as a Christian, the more I look into these stories about what won D-Day or what won World War II, you realize a lot of things won World War II. And if any one of them hadn't worked, it could have meant a very different world that we're living in today. And that's just, you got to understand that it was a very complicated time during World War II. And there wasn't going to be one answer. It was going to be a lot of answers and a lot of sacrifice. And I think we're missing that in the world today, this idea of sacrifice and, fighting for one's values and beliefs. And there you go.
Well, you convinced me. I'll go see this film at some point.
Yep.
Let's go to comments.
Yeah. Agronopoulos. It looks really good. Yeah. Razorburn, didn't Saving Ryan, Private Ryan feature the weather as well? I'm pretty sure it did. Also had Damian Lewis in both. Steve Z, do they talk about how the bankers started the war? No, it's about the weather.
Now that would be do a war movie, but focus on the money and the bankers.
Yeah,
that'd be great. That would be one that I would watch.
Yeah, much like War Today, oddly enough. Tina Guzman, there's the never generation needs to keep hearing stories of the wars that keep us free. Many died, we can't forget. Yes.
Agree.
Yeah. Franklin Sturgill, give us a good review, Alan. No pressure.
I see what you did there. All right. Alan, you know what the last review is?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Hold
Okay.
on. No, there's steps that have to be taken to make these things
good.
happen.
It's all good.
Especially if you just reviewed the last movie.
Yeah.
All right.
All set?
Yep.
That's great. Hey, Power Ballad is the story of Rick Power, who's a musician in a band called The Bride and Groove. They play cover songs, celebrate good times. Come on. He's and Paul Rudd is the lead singer. When he was younger in an original band, he met a woman in Ireland. He fell in love and started a family. He gave up his rock career, but now he's an older man. He's he's a singer in this wedding band that's very popular, by the way. His best mate is in the band, plays guitar, and they really have fun going to these events. And just, he's got a good life, good living, going around in the van with the bride and groove. He plays a wedding that actually a famous singer, Danny Wilson, played by Nick Jonas of the Jonas Brothers, a band that, sorry to admit, I'm not a Jonas Brothers fan, but he plays kind of a version of himself. He plays kind of a washed up singer who was in a boy band. And Danny Wilson gets up during this wedding and is encouraged to participate and sing a song. So Rick Power brings up Danny. They sing a song together on stage. The chemistry is there and it's great. Crowd goes wild. The wedding's over and Danny and Rick just sort of go off to Danny's hotel room and they're just peer to peer. He's the older musician who never got his big shot. And Danny Wilson's the younger musician who maybe a has-been, who's trying to make a comeback. And they just play songs for each other. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? He kind of helps them. He helps them come up with music. One of the best sequences in the movie is watching two musicians creatively work out problems. Oh, you should make the bridge this, the chorus should be that, go high on this. Obviously I'm a terrible singer. I can't do it. But watching, and Paul Rudd has a real musical talent. And by the way, I interviewed Paul Rudd. He used to be a wedding DJ. That was his thing back in the day. So he seems very comfortable in this role. They have this long drunken night that goes to early in the morning where they play songs for each other. They're writing things. They're both very drunk. And Rick Power plays this song, How to Write a Song Without You, meaning without you in my life. How can I write songs without this love? And he kind of presents this song to Danny and they're playing. Oh, it's nice. 6 months go by. Suddenly Danny Wilson has this song he presents to his manager, played by Jack Rayner, who plays his manager, Mac. And somehow he comes up with how to write a song without you. He plays it for his girlfriend, Marcia, played by Havana Rose Liu, who we just saw in Tuner. And this song really resonates. Like, women like it, especially. Like, you wrote this song for me. How can I write a song without you? And he performs this song. It becomes a huge #1 hit on YouTube. This song goes 2 million views in one day. In a short time, 500 million views on YouTube. The song is huge. He's performing at Madison Square Garden. It's huge. This song. Paul Rudd's character Rick sees it. That's my song. I wrote that song. His family doesn't even believe him. He's like, I got it somewhere. I got a recording of it. So he can't find a recording. But he had such this great moment with Danny, and he's going to go to LA to track him down, to confront him about this. That's like the first half of the movie, which much of that you see in the trailer. Where it goes in the third act, I don't want to say, not where expected. This movie has so much heart, so much about what a life goal is, to do something creative. And Rick doesn't even care about the money. He just wants people to know, I wrote that song. It's my song. And the meaning it has is not what you think. And this movie is directed by John Carney, who did some other films that are, all of his movies have some music angle. He did Once, Begin Again, Sing Street, Flora and Son. All of his movies have some music angle. Once is a classic, actually. Mm-hmm. That movie is huge. This is amazing. The chemistry with Nick Jonas and Paul Rudd is so good. They're so good in the cast, I gotta say. And you see, like, you would think that the Danny Wilson character is a complete a-hole, but honestly, they're so drunk that night. Maybe he thinks he wrote it. Like, we see what we see, but the characters, when they're just riffing with each other, trying to like help each other as creative colleagues, is so beautiful. That scene in the very first third of the movie. I think the trailer gives away a lot, but the third act of this movie, I mean, I got so choked up by the end. What it's about. I mean, it's about, you got this, young potential has-been having a comeback, and this guy later in years, but he has, you know what? He has a family life. That means more to him than anything. I cannot recommend this movie enough. It almost feels like a romance, even though, like, really, there's not. I mean, Paul Rudd is married and has a young daughter. She's a teenager, and God, I can't rave enough about it. Paul Rudd's performance, also his musical performance in the movie, is amazing. I don't know Nick Jonas, but now I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Nick Jonas. I can't believe I'm saying that. His portrayal, Danny Wilson is effectively what I believe is, he's a lot like the character he plays, probably maybe less or more of an asshole. I don't know. Can't recommend it enough. It's a power ballad. I mean, could not be a better life-affirming, inspiring movie with a lot of heart. I plan to see it again. So that's all I'll say. And Alan, as a father to a daughter, you got to see this.
Did you just give away the ending?
No. I'm just saying his relationship with his daughter is so solid. So,
I mean, I'll be honest, the trailer, watching the trailer, I feel like I've seen this before, the idea that someone stole someone else's song.
Yeah.
But just the fact that you mentioned John Carney and that you like it so much. I mean, Once, like you say, is classic. I think we don't talk about Sing Street enough. So I think based on his reputation alone, I'm definitely going to see this movie.
Yeah. Well, I strongly recommend it. I mean, one of my favorites of the year. Wow. Let's go to comments. And no comments that have spoilers.
Yeah. 311 SAA. Best power ballad, I Want to Know What Love Is. At number 1. Coming in at The Immortal Remus. Many untold stories from World War II. My late South Asian dad fought for the British Indian Army against the Japanese in Burma, and my Polish Ukrainian maternal grandfather fought in the desert for the British Army.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, my two uncles, they defended Alaska from the Japanese. But
my grandfather was in the Navy in World War II.
Yeah.
And my uncle was in Vietnam.
Yeah. Well, my uncles, they were it was kind of like the first time that Chinese actually was allowed to fight in the war for the United States, and that kind of eased a lot of the tensions that the US and China and Chinese immigrants had in the country at that time. Got the Chinese Exclusion Act repealed because of that. All right, Tim is not funny. Can't wait to see this. The premise looks very interesting, and I loved Once. Rudd is always great. Nick Jonas was terrific in massively underseen, underrated MMA-themed TV series Kingdom.
Yeah, if you love Once, this is even better. Different. But
yeah.
Better in some ways. All right.
Indie Shade for 5. Band of Horses stole the song The Funeral from my old bandmate Chad. I'll definitely see Power Ballad.
Yes, see it. Your friend should see it too.
Yeah, and I hate Band of Horses. Sparta. Chris, a new taco restaurant opened on Orange Street in Pasadena. Have you been there?
I have not, but that's great. That's I love that. My favorite is this taco place. They always have cheap tacos on Taco Tuesday. That's in an alley. There's also King Taco. Thanks.
Mine are right in front of the LA Convention Center, right on the street there. Tony Elias, I'm very interested in this film. I really dug the trailer, and it seems like it has heart and good feelings.
It does. You'll love it. That's going to wrap it up for us today. I want to thank everyone in the chat who gave super chats. We appreciate you. It helps us keep doing this show for you. 3 days a week live, folks. That's what we do. We appreciate all our soups and our members. I want to thank Atomic Lori's not here. She's moving. That's all I'll say. So she's busy, and wish her luck in her new home there.
And thanks to all our mods. I would assume it's Lord Thoth.
Thanks to all our mods. MK Solid, all the usuals. Lord Thoth
helping us behind the scenes that we have no idea who's helping us behind the scenes.
Hey, we appreciate all of you. We'll be back on Monday with Versus. This weekend, I will be at Monsterpalooza in Pasadena. That's right. I'm walking up the block, and I'm going to the Pasadena Convention Center on Green Street. Might be at Yard House later. Who knows? Oh, The Commitments.
Last super chat in chat for 2. The Commitments is still the best band movie ever. Yes.
Yes, Indie Shade.
Yes.
That's great. That one's awesome. But I'm going to Monsterpalooza this weekend. I got a 3-day pass. I'll be there tonight. I love the first night because it's like 7 to 11, late night. It's a blast. So I will be there tonight and all weekend. Alan, what are your weekend plans?
I'm seeing Power Ballad.
I'm gonna go see it again. Actually,
I'm excited to see it now.
I'm gonna see it. I want to talk to you after you've seen it. Text me after you've seen it.
Well, yeah, and I want to talk about the third act of Backrooms. We'll do it Monday.
We'll do it Monday. I like to wait till Monday to do something like that. But that's it for us. We'll be back on Monday. Alan, what do you have to say? And
let's get out of here. What? Let's get out of here.
I want to say thank you to everybody. I want to say thank you.
Yeah, I want to say let's get out of here.